Hello everyone. This video is to train officials for kickball for intramural sports at the University of Texas at Arlington. To start off, here are a few things that we should know from softball. Players need their UTA ID in order to check into play. UTA Intramural Sports will provide the game balls for all the games. Players are allowed to wear cleats with rubber spikes or any athletic shoe, but no metal spikes are allowed. As in all of our sports, no jewelry is allowed. Substitutions are unlimited, but players have to enter the game in the same spot in the lineup every time they enter. The umpiring mechanics will be the same as softball. A few things that are different from softball right off the bat. The number of players is different. You have to have 6 to start, and 7 players are in the field. Up to 10 can bat, so you'll have 3 players that will not play in the field, but they can be extra batters. In co-rec, teams have to have at least 3 players of each gender on defense at all times, but there's no restrictions on the extra hitters, and there's no restrictions on the lineup. When teams are batting, they can bat in whichever order they choose, so it doesn't have to go male and female like it does in co-rec. So let's get into some more of the basic rules of intramural kickball. The time limit is the same as for softball, 50 minutes, or 7 innings, whichever happens first. At the time that 50 minutes is up, no more innings can be started, so we'll attempt to finish the current inning that we're in. Game time is forfeit time. A team has to have someone present at game time, and if they do, they'll get a 10-minute grace period. If no one's present at game time, the game is automatically forfeited to the team that has players signed in and ready to play. Our drop dead time has to do with our 50-minute limit. Once the 50-minute limit is hit, like I said, another inning cannot be started, so we'll attempt to finish the current inning. 5 extra minutes will be put on the clock to finish that inning after the game time expires. If the home team is currently winning and batting, we do not go into this drop dead time. We'll just end the game with the home team the winner. The mercy rule is 15 runs after 3 innings, 10 runs after 4 innings, or 8 runs after 5 innings. Each batter, or kicker, receives 3 rolls from a pitcher, and that pitcher is someone from their own team. The way that they can do that is they can take a walking start, but they have to have 1 foot on the pitching mound, prior to releasing the ball, and they have to remain in contact with the rubber throughout the delivery. The ball has to reach home plate before it is kicked, so make sure to communicate this to the kickers so that they're not overly eager to go kick the ball. The kicking team is responsible for returning the rolled ball back to the pitcher. The defense is not going to have a catcher, so the kicking team, if they miss the ball, will send that ball back to the pitcher. If the batter doesn't put the ball in play with 3 rolls, they're out, period. This means that on the 3rd roll, a foul ball will constitute an out. There's no infield practice after the 1st inning. After the beginning of each half inning, or when a pitcher relieves another, the pitcher can deliver 1 warm-up pitch. After that, it's time to play ball. For kickball, we have a 15-foot foul arch. I'll show you a diagram of it on the next slide. All kicked balls have to travel beyond that 15-foot foul arch to be in play. A foul ball has to reach a height of 6 feet or more to be legally caught for an out. The home run arch is 150 feet from home plate in the outfield. If the ball passes beyond that arch in the air, it's a home run. Defensive players cannot catch the ball beyond that arch for an out. If the defensive player has 2 feet in bounds, however, if they're within that arch and they catch the ball before they cross the arch, it's an out. Similar to football. If you catch the ball inbounds and then go out, it's still an out. A batter who hits a home run doesn't have to go touch the bases. They touch first base first and then go back to the dugout. All other runners must cross the plate. This is not drawn to scale, but it will be similar to what you see when you get out to the field. We'll have a 15-foot arch from home plate. That's the foul arch that the batters have to kick it across for it to be fair. And then we have a 150-foot home run arch. If the ball crosses that line, it's a home run. If the defense catches it behind that line, it's a home run. If the defense catches the ball and the defense is standing in front of that line, it is an out. So when running the bases, just like in intramural softball, base stealing is not allowed. Runners may leave a base only when a pitched ball has been kicked. No runner can return to touch a missed base or one they had left illegally after a following runner has scored. If the defense thinks a runner missed a base, they have to appeal for the out to be granted. This appeal may be verbal or physical. Base runners have to slide or run around a fielder making a defensive play on the ball when trying to reach a base. The runner is the one who is responsible for avoiding contact in all of these situations. Obstruction is what we call when a defensive player hinders or prevents a batter from kicking the rolled ball, or a fielder who's not in possession of the ball fielding a batted ball or about to receive a thrown ball impedes the base runner legally running the bases. So if you look at that definition, the fielder could be in front of the base runner if they're in possession of the ball, if they're fielding a ball that's been kicked, or if they're about to receive a thrown ball. They cannot be in the way of the runner before those things happen. Interference happens when the offensive player or team member impedes or confuses a defensive player who's attempting to make a play. There are 9 ways by rule that a base runner can be out. Check out the rulebook for this. The most common that you'll see in kickball is being touched by the ball, whether a defensive player is holding it and touches the runner, or by a defensive player who throws the ball and the ball subsequently strikes the runner below the head. Base runners are not out when a thrown ball from a defensive player strikes the runner in the head if the runner is in a normal standing or running position. If the runner crouches down, for example, and then gets hit in the head, they're out. But they're not out if they're in a normal standing or running position and the ball hits them in the head. Unsportsmanlike conduct in kickball is administered by yellow cards. We won't actually have the physical cards out there, but you will verbally announce the yellow card and who it is on. 2 yellow cards in a game counts as an ejection, but a player can be ejected immediately if their actions are severe enough. For example, repeated unnecessary rough play with a perceived intent to injure, excessive abusive language, fighting, etc. So in conclusion, anything that I didn't cover in this video will be found in the rulebook, so please take a look at that before you work your first shift, and anything not covered in the rulebook should be equivalent to intramural softball.